Hello, welcome to the Battling Barrow. Growing up playing D&D, I only had a certain amount of money to be able to buy stuff. I was, 10, 11, 12 kind of thing, treating that sort of when I started and around that age. So anyway, I only had pocket money, so I could only afford to buy certain things. So as an adult, I thought, well, I've got the means now, I can go to the second-hand market and be able to buy these sort of modules and things that I missed out on. They should be relatively cheap now, but they're not, are they? Let's face it, the second-hand market can be a bit of a rip-off for things that seem to be overpriced. Add in the keyword rare into your title and just increase the price. Grr. So I still can't get hold of them. Well, so I thought, because Drive Thru RPG, not only can you, they sell old PDFs of modules, so great, I'd be able to get hold of these old modules. At least they're digital, I can have a read. But it gets better than that. They do a print on demand service, which is amazing. So I had a little order of stuff just to see what it's like. I was pleased with what I saw, so I've had another order and we're going to have a look at the products. Now, one of the things that did vex me is why not all the items are print on demand. I thought that'd be quite straightforward. So I reached out to Drive Thru RPG on Twitter and I asked them, and they got back to me. They very kindly got back to me. And there's two sort of reasons why, and they both make sense. First is they said the publishers have control over what formats list in their titles, so it isn't up to them. Kind of makes sense. The publishers do want to have some sort of control over their project. So, of course, then that begs the question, why Wizards of the Coast aren't you just sort of saying, make all these old modules print on demand? It costs nothing from you to do that because they're old products. You don't have to write them or develop them. They're just old products. So make everything print on demand. Anyway, the second reason is that probably why everything isn't, even if it could be, why it probably isn't, is that preparing files for print on demand is a bit more complex, which makes sense when you have a look at the titles. When you look at the cover, it's not, you look at a PDF, you're just going to have a front cover and a back cover, but it doesn't have a spine there, does it? And so there's that. So it's not just a case of taking this scanned PDF and printing that out. There is a lot more to it than that. You have to make a cover file. It has to be in a certain quality. If it's a low res scan, things need to be done. You have to take into account like proper margins, bleed, proofing, all those things, which I think about kind of makes sense. But what I would hope for is in the future more companies would do print on demand, because I just love them, and when we look at the quality of these, you'll see why. But also things like I play, or starting to play, Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay on the 4th edition by Cubicle 7, and they've got a load of adventures on Drive Thru on PDF form that you can. I would love those to be print on demand. Please, Cubicle 7 and Drive Thru, make those print on demand. But what we're going to do is, because in this video, as well as looking at the print on demand, at the end I'll show you a quick homemade print press you can all do, show you how to bind them. Everyone should be able to do this, just utilising stuff you've got at home. So you can, things like this, you can print off, buy the PDF, print them off at home, and at least have some sort of binding on them. In fact, I'll show you two ways. One, just a really cheap and easy way of doing it. Second is a bit more involved but looks way better. So yeah, let's have a look at the stuff I bought them. Oh, I should point out, yes, I did buy these. This isn't a sponsored video. So yeah, let's have a look at it. So the first book I ordered was this one, Forgotten Realms. I like the Forgotten Realms. Bizarrely, probably not as much to play in, but to read, as a setting. Probably a bit too fully developed to be a real great playing campaign setting, but I guess you can make it your own, but there's just so much there already. It's difficult not to step on some sort of canon toes, but beside the point, I like the Forgotten Realms. I like reading the books, I like the games and such, and I do like a D&D game set in the Forgotten Realms. So back in the day, I, as I've already mentioned, only had a certain amount of money. I didn't have a lot of money to spend on second edition. I bought the core books a few other bits and pieces, but a lot of this sort of passing by. But now's my chance to get hold of it. Now, I thought this would be a good test because it's a box set. So what this would be is, you can see here, it's just one fairly thick tome. This would be multiple different books and different bits and pieces in the box set. So I just thought I'd get this to see what they'll do with that. And already you can see that it's not just a simple case of getting a PDF and printing it out. One, you have the spine. So this is a lovely spine, which you just wouldn't get in a PDF. So you can see it's covered, really covered. It has, you can see that it's got a sheen to it. Like, there you go, look at that, like a real proper product. It is a real proper product. So this is some sort of thick card-ish. This is inkjet paper, but really good quality stuff. I mean, not the sort of stuff I use to print out whatever. So okay, so you got this really high quality, and then this is like one of the books. So this is probably the cover of the box set itself, and this is one of the books, the Myth-Drannor Adventures. And so what this is actually just a series of 6 adventures set in Myth-Drannor, and it has the tables in here, and they're the ones that we're seeing here on this sheet. Hopefully you can see here it's really cool print quality. I mean, you can read it, you can see it. It's not washed out or anything. It's really cool. The artwork is lovely. And you're getting the full effect here. So it's not a review of this product, it's a review of the print on demand quality. So then what happens is, in the book you then have the back page of this adventure book. So where is it? That would have been one book in the box set. But then you get the campaign guide. So this would have been the thicker box going through all the history. Thicker box, thicker book, going through the history. So yeah, you got that in there. So you got the back cover of this book in here. That'd be about that thick. And again, same picture on the cover, but the cover is slightly, I don't know if this was the box and this is the cover of the book. The cover's more vibrant, you can see that there. Not that it matters. Contents instructions. Yes, we have this. So this is all to do with reading up on the ruins of Myth-Drannor and sort of extra rules to use within them itself. So the magic here. But then it also had some cards that you'd have in here in the box set, and these are in this section here. So it's a reprint of the cover here. It definitely is slightly more vibrant on the front, which is cool. It's what you want. But here's all sort of the card cutout handouts that would be in here. So you can see them here, just printed onto A4. Now if you wanted to have these as separate, you'd have to buy the PDF and the print on demand, so you could print these out yourself on card if you did want them separate on card like back in the day. I'm not too worried about that for this one, although other products we'll have a look at. I did buy the PDF, so I wanted to be able to do something like that on those documents. All the way through this it's been black and white, and you might be thinking, is that because the print on demand is black and white? No, the original document itself for this was black and white, but here as we're getting into this section you can see a bit of colour here, albeit black, white and brown, because again that's how it was originally for the card cutouts, but it is colour for the map. Now this was a poster map, and so all they've done in the poster map is printed it into the book. So this way, if you want it to be a poster map, you could buy the PDF, print it out each page yourself, and then attach it together. But I'm not too worried about this being like that. But you can see it's got colour in here. Also included in this. So again, separating it once more, and I kind of enjoyed that, what they've done here with the separation of each section, even though there wouldn't be no need to have this because it wouldn't have been a book. Here they've got just a little placeholder to tell you that this is another bit of the box set, and this was all the monster stats. So you can see this is very much in keeping with sort of the second edition monster manual or monstrous manual book, but these are extra monsters that are in Mithranor. So that is pretty cool. It is not stitch bound, it's glue bound, which at this price I wouldn't expected it to be stitch bound, but it is sturdy. It is really cool and sturdy. So that is the first book I bought, and I was really happy with. I mean, it just looks great on your shelf. I wasn't expecting it to be like this good quality, so I decided to order some more once I received that. Moved away from second edition and Forgotten Realms because that got me thinking, well, what about, because I was really a Beckme player, the basic, expert, campaign, master, immortal set really, and then moved into second edition quite late into it because I was still playing this, but there was loads of modules and bits and pieces that I missed out on, so I decided to get some of these. Now this is an accessory, quite pointless. Maybe you could have got away with getting this just on PDF, but I just wanted it in a physical copy. I always wanted this, never got hold of it when I was growing up as a kid. I've now got my physical copy. What is it going to be much use for me? Not really, not nowadays, but I love it and I've always wanted it. That picture there, great. What this is, it's not an adventure. It is what it says here, pre-generated characters for the Beckme D&D fantasy game, all in the Shady Dragon Inn. I might make that, and I might make the Shady Dragon, but it's great. So what we've got here is a bit of information on how to use it, a picture of, and it's split up into, so there's fighters, magic users, clerics, thieves, dwarves, elves, halflings, and in there is a list of pre-generated characters. You can use these as characters playing a game, maybe if you didn't want to roll up a character. Use them as NPCs, use them as antagonists. So we have the picture here, we have a line drawing here, and we have numbers here. So number 1 here is Abel Artone, cool. Number 7 is Fiona. She's a fighter. So yeah, there were male and female here. Even back in '83, it was quite a progressive hobby. You know, we didn't really think about anything different about having ladies and boys playing the game. It's pretty cool, just accepted. Magic users. And what's cool about this is it also has the list of special characters. These were by LJN Toys, I believe, little miniature figures from AD&D. These are the good guys, and these are my favourites, the bad guys. War Duke here, really famous warrior. Kelek the wizard, I forget him, Zarak, some sort of half-orc thief dude. Oh yeah, he's right here. Yeah, there he is. So this is really cool. I've always wanted this. I probably still would make some sort of use of this in my games. So just quick and easy. 1, NPC names. 2, NPCs. It's not that difficult to just quickly put them into 5th. I mean, armor class, you know, 10's unarmed, 18 chainmail. So you can look at maybe giving, I don't know, so armor class here. The reason I'm saying this is because back in then, low armor class was good, whereas nowadays high armor class is good. So let's have a look, see if we can find any sort of armor class that we can do this example with. I can't seem to see it. Let's have a look at the fighter. Where Thaco is going to be armor class 2. So that's Boris Bone Snapper. So that's going to be him. You can see he's in full plate now. So just give him armor class 17 or 18. Boom, you're done. Thaco wants to hit armor class. That's what you needed to roll to hit. So here, just give him 20-sided dice, 17, either +4 or +3 to hit. Boom, you're done. Quick, easy, dirty conversion. Also in the back of this, there is a list of all the fights, just the characters grouped up, just their stats. Cool, brilliant. Also included in this is the floor plans for the Shady Dragon Inn itself. So this is the top floor. This is the ground floor. So we've got the inn. So you can set the inn up if you wanted to using dungeon tiles. Brilliant. So love that. And again, quality wise, you're always going to get this lovely proper card cover and lovely lovely inkjet printer, high quality paper, good quality print. Yeah, fantastic. Love that. Then let's move on to the modules. B1 to 9. Yes, In Search of Adventure. Again, got the spine on here. Back cover. QR code here, just in case people are wondering if you're buying them, if you're going to get a proper one or a print on demand version. If you know, just so you don't get skanked. You can see here QR code 2. That's a brand new one, and plus it's not exactly the same as the original anyway. Yeah, so a lot of people, when they saw B1 to 9, got confused and thought this was the full compilation, but it's not. It's like a greatest hits, so it takes bits of each module from 1 to 9, forming them into a campaign system here. So see the lovely quality of the art here, and so on this one you can see here is the flowchart for the adventures. So yeah, this is great. I don't want to go too much into this because I could just go into the actual book itself, but that's not what we're here for. We're here to see different print on demand books, see how they are. So this is a slightly fatter module. You can see it's been bound because normally if you print stuff off yourself, it's not as tight as this. You do need to use a press. We'll kind of get to that a bit later on in the video for doing it yourself if a print on demand isn't available when they've only got the PDF. Yep, brilliant. So we got In Search of the Unknown, In Search of Adventure, crumbs. And another thing I didn't get hold of back in the day, but I now can, are the gazetters. Gazetteers. So this is Gazetteer 1, the Grand Duchy of Keramikos, because this is the best fantasy setting for D&D, because there is a history there, but it's not, the whole world isn't defined, allowing for plenty of adventure and discovery, which is kind of what you want in a campaign setting. You don't want everything to be defined, you don't want big powerful heroes getting in the way of the players. You know, established heroes, Dritz and Elminster in Forgotten Realms, for instance. This is the setting, and this is the Beckme setting as well, as this is my first D&D setting, so never had this back in the day, missed out on it. Got it now though, because look at it, it's just on this one, on the inside cover you have maps. So you have the cover, you have the map, colour maps I should add. It's the Duke's Stronghold there. And we have the map of the known world there in all its glorious colour hex. So just in case you're wondering how colour looks in them, we're increasing the colour in the books, because this one had this lovely purple tower all the way through it in the background, which it has here. So you can see it looks great. The print is still readable in even with that. Terribly excited about finally owning this. So we go on. We've got all the information here about Keramikos. Was that Bargle we just flipped past then? No, there is a picture of Bargle coming up, and Keramikos people will know him and hate him. I can't find it now, but so that's that. But it does include all the maps in here, so you can see these glorious maps, full colour maps. There is Specularum, the main city, Threshold, probably the main town that most people would start out in. Map of Kelvin, brilliant. So finally got hold of that. And on staying with Keramikos, but a different D&D version. This is the 2nd edition one, and with both of these, well, let's start with this one. I did it for a few others, but I bought the PDF and the book for this because at the back on this one you do get handouts and maps, so I wanted to be able to print these all out. So start with the back first, which is weird, but we're not reviewing the book, we're reviewing the print on demand. So you had these handouts that you'd give to your players, so buying the PDF allows me to print these out, and I can, if I want to play this, I can give them to the players. It's also had, yeah, it's Bargle. I wanted posted for Bargle, brilliant. Got you plans for this. Also had pre-generated characters, so you can print these out if you wanted to on card for use in the game. You can see these are full colour. This book is full colour, which we'll flip through in a minute. And also got the big poster map. So again, being I have it with PDF, I can print it out if I want. In the 2nd edition, I don't know a lot about this this version. I has moved away from Keramikos by now, but got the 2nd edition. I didn't even know this was a thing back in the day. I do now. We'll get onto this in a minute. But yeah, Miros is actually Specularum. They've renamed it in the 2nd edition. Interesting to know why. Yeah, cool. Yeah, this. It's the CD. You need a CD to play this, because like the introduction box set for the 2nd edition that had a CD, so there was more CD games than just that, which I didn't know until just recently. So I was hoping that if you bought the, it said multiple file formats, you'd get like MP3s of the CD with it. You don't. So you don't get that at all. So you're going to have to somehow get the CD elsewhere. Maybe YouTube. Maybe ask someone that's got it if they got the CD, if you can have a little rip of it. I don't know where the legality of that is on this long out of print thing, but I have managed to get hold of the MP3s. So that's cool. I've got them, but I was a bit shocked that they didn't supply the MP3s, but that's one small thing. Book itself, let's have a look, because yeah, this is full colour, and this is another box set book, a bit like the first book we looked into. So you can sort of see here it's 2 books and a load of handouts that have gone into the box set as well as the CD. So the first thing we got here is the sort of campaign book, if you like, getting the world explained. It is full colour, and we can see the lovely artwork, the high quality of the printout here. It is not faded, it's not fuzzy. Look at it, I wouldn't even say I would know that it is a second, print on demand copy. It is beautiful. I mean, you just got to look at this, and this one of the reasons why I bought this book, because I knew it was full colour. Oh, it's glorious. I don't know what it's like. I have a read of it. Well, I've got a lot to read, haven't I, over all these books. It's fantastic. So we got this here. All the maps and the shields, the season town. It's a glorious setting. I just hope they haven't ruined it in the 2nd. It goes through personalities. There's Bargle again. The so-and-so. Yeah, we got this. And in here it also has the adventure book. But which this would be, where is it? There it is, the adventure book. Awesome cover by Clive Caldwell, same as the Gazetta one we used here. But pretty much unplayable without the CD, really. So you do need that CD for this. That's something to watch out for the CD games. It's pretty much unplayable because a lot of it's not, the text isn't in the book, it's on the track here. And then you've just got options, so you need the audio to be able to know what's going on. But as you can see, this book is full colour, and it's glorious. It's beautiful. Yeah. So really, I am super impressed with the print-on-demand service. And look at them all, and they're really reasonably priced. I was shocked at how reasonably priced these all are. You know, it's for what you're getting, for what you pay, it's amazing. I know, and I kind of want more companies to take Drive Thru RPG up on this print on demand thing and work with them. Can you imagine if Games Workshop worked with them and put all their old army books for Warhammer Fantasy on there and all the old products for that, and you could use those as print on demand? I mean, they'd still be making a bit of money from it for nothing, for work that's already been done and forgotten about. They can still be making money from it. Just like Wizards of the Coast are now making money on stuff they didn't even work on. It was TSR, but just because they own it, they're making money of it. And I think that's brilliant. It's given me a way to be able to buy these things that I couldn't buy back in the day, and that are quite pricey on the second-hand market. I can have these high quality versions of them. I think that is amazing. But hopefully more companies will do this. This is, I should have said this at the beginning, not a sponsored video. I paid for each and every one of these myself, and I will be buying more of these. Well, okay, so that's a look at the what's available on the print on demand. But I did say I'd show you just a few quick ways on how to do your own print on demand from the PDFs that are available in Drive Thru RPG that aren't available in print on demand. So let's get going with that. So the first thing you're going to want to do is get your PDF file you're going to want to print out, and a good PDF reader. Standard is Adobe's Acrobat Reader, which I'm going to be using here. Now, if a PDF has been prepared properly, I'm going to say properly, this isn't. This just has, to me, it isn't. For printing, that is it. Because this just has pages 1 to 26 that hopefully you can see up there. I've left the barring, don't normally do that. But it shows 1 to 26. But if you get a better prepared PDF, you'll see it has front cover there, which is kind of what we want. And then the inside cover, in this case, has map 1. It's the first map. Sometimes it might just say inside front or something. And likewise for the back, you have back cover and map 2. Then on PDFs like this, the actual pages are then here. This is actually page 1. So this is what I mean. This is where you want to start printing from on normal paper. This here, you don't want to print out the cover or the inside, or the back cover and the back inside on normal paper. And in case of this one, which we're going to be printing out and doing, you're going to have to sort of guess it. So I'm going to look here and say, nope, I don't want that. I could print that out, but I'm going to put that on the inside cover because I want the first page to be the actual adventure on normal paper. So that'll be page 3. And I can come down and do the same for the back. I'm going to say, okay, that's the back cover, and that'll be the back inside. So it's going to be to page 24. So what we're going to do is we are going to print out pages 3 to 24. So to do this, we're going to look at this. This is the print dialog. So what we're going to want to do is make sure we have pages 3 to 24 down here, and then the preview should update. So you can see the guilty party, and the last page should be it's all connected. Great. You're going to want to, sometimes PDFs aren't prepared properly for printing. If you look at the actual size, you can see this is telling me that it's gonna not print on the paper properly. You can see it's just going over the margins, and I guess this is what Drive Thru RPG meant on their reply. It's not just a case of sending a PDF to the printer, you've got to prepare the margins. So that's kind of what I'm doing here. Mainly I'm just clicking fit, so it will automatically make it fit. So it will slightly shrink it, it'll be slightly smaller than what it should be, but not too much. You can see there's not actual that much in there. It's just going to make it fit to the page. Really, you don't want to save ink toning for this. This is going to be your main thing you're going to be reading. You don't really want to be struggling, so you're going to want to leave it. But the most important thing you want to check is print on both sides of the paper, and I always leave it on flip on the long edge, and this will allow you then to print on both sides of the paper, and you'll follow the print instructions. So it'll print the odd numbers first, and it will tell you to flip the paper over, put that printed paper back into the printer, and it'll print the other side, the even numbers or something to that effect. Next, you're going to want to print out the front cover and what we are including as our inside cover here. And for this, you're not going to want to use normal paper. You're going to want to use thicker printable cardstock, say between 120 to 300 GSM is sort of the thickness you're looking for. The thicker it is, the more it's going to protect it. That's up to you. You're going to want to print it pages 1 to 2 like we've done, double-sided. For this, for what I did for mine here, I didn't print this in, I used the save ink toner method, printed it on, you trying to use as less ink as possible. It's only just for display on my shelf. I'm not going to be looking at that much when I'm actually using the game. Now for this, the back cover, I did want a back cover. You could get away with not printing one out, but if you do that, I'd still recommend putting a blank piece of cardstock at the back. But for this, I just printed out this page here. I thought it looked quite nice. I didn't bother with the inside because it's just an advert, really. Both of these just an advert, but just to have something on the back. And then you're going to print those out. When you print them out, you're going to end up with something like this. So this is on the thick cardstock. It's just all on paper. It's double-sided. And this is my back piece where I talked about. I was only just going to have that. You're going to want to collate them together. You'll notice there is the margin here. I'm going to now use a guillotine to get rid of this. If you don't have a guillotine, it's going to take you a bit longer to do it because you're going to have to do it by hand. There are going to be places where here I'm going to lose a bit of this image here because I'm going to cut it to along here. I'm not going to lose any of the text. That's where I was trying to fit it in. I'm going to lose a bit of this map, unfortunately. Yeah. Again, this is what they mean by getting the PDF prepared. You can see here how this one isn't properly done. Bizarrely, if you get the D&D modules, they're pretty much prepared. So I bought some of those and printed some of those off already. I also had the orange cover that years ago Wizards of the Coast put out for free of the Silver Princess. I think that's what it was called, isn't it? Alice of the Silver Princess. They put out the original orange cover, the controversial orange cover version. So I nabbed that and I've printed that out, and that just printed like a dream. This is going to be a bit wonky, this one, but we're going to get a guillotine. I've got an old crusty one from school. You're probably going to want to get a newer one, or if not, just do it by hand. Take you a while, but ooh. Just one thing to note before we talk about guillotining, or continue talking about guillotining: don't cut down this bit. Leave this on. This will give you, because we're going to stitch bind it, and this will just give you a little area to stitch bind. Now it is all cut out, ready for binding. Now I did say I was going to mention a quick and easy way of doing this, so I will. I've got the first Hitchhiker Adventures here. If looks could kill. I didn't print this out on card, so you can see that it's just paper, which I shouldn't have done. I might reprint the cover out on this one day. This will protect it more. You can see already the paper's curling. But anyway, that's not what we're here for. The easiest way for a quick and dirty binding is to buy these. These are available from stationery shops. They're just plastic sort of clips that look like this. They have a little notch over there that will help you slide it onto the paper. And I've had to cut this to size because they come in a standard A4 length. But to do this, you just gather your book together, make sure you've got that angle size down, slide it into the paper, boom, quick, easy, bound book. But for this, we're taking this to the next level. If you've got a book press, this is going to be just really easy. If not, like most of the things on the channel, I'm going to show you a quick and dirty way of doing this. Okay, so for this, what you're going to need to do is gather your document and make sure it's all together nicely. Then come in and take two hardback books. I've got the New Musical Express from 1974, which is older than I am. Cool. And I've got the Haynes Zombie Survival Guide. Doesn't matter what they are. What we're going to do is use these as a press. They need to be mega. I'm thinking of buying a proper press soon because I am doing this a lot. Different D&D modules and Warhammer Fantasy Adventures. So just going to put that here, and I just want it poking out the edge a little bit. Coming with your other book and do the same to put it on the top. Clamps. I come in with some clamps. Just doing this off camera because it's easier. I'm just clamping it onto this corner here to hold it in place, like so. And that's gonna hopefully push it down. You can then put it somewhere else, put a bit of weight here. We've got one more little job to do first, and that is I want to run some glue along here. So hopefully this camera angle works better. So I'm going to do this off camera and do this. So you're going to come in just with some PVA or white glue and just trying to bead along best as possible. Probably not even getting on camera, just along the edge here, like so. So it's all just along this edge here, and coming with your finger and just smooth that out. Be careful, this sounds funny, but the amount of paper cuts I've got from doing this, it's just going to help bind the book, but we are going to stitch bind it as well. It's going to be glued and stitched for the ultimate in binding, and I'm just going to leave that to dry until the glue has fully set. Once the glue is dry, it's nice and smooth and glued. Next, going to drill holes in. I've already sort of marked out where I'm going to drill them. I don't normally do this just for the purpose of the video, but it's a case of drilling a hole at the end, and then we're going to come in and do them in pairs. So you can see better here. So it's a hole in the end, then quite near it another one, and then that's going to be one pair, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and another hole at the end. And then I'm just going to come in with a ping vise. If you've got a Dremel drill, this makes this a bit quicker, but for the purpose of this video, I'm just going to use a ping vise, handheld vise drill. Just a little drill bit. It's about the same thickness as, say, a paper clip, and just going to use a smaller cutting mat, just an old small cutting mat to put underneath, just hold it, just to support underneath, and we're just going to drill out all these holes. Again, Dremel drill here, be nice and quick, but this doesn't take too long. I'm already through that already gone through. So it's going to drill out all these holes. Next we're going to do a bit of sewing. This is embroidery thread, an embroidery needle, but you could use normal cotton. So what I'm going to do is on the first hole here, it's going to come down. You may need, I tend to use pliers, but just to push it through the hole. So what we're going to do is just want one of the bits of thread through, and then here I just want to tie it off at the end. This can be tricky, can be easy. That's how it goes. Do a couple of knots, make sure. What I'm going to do now is on the next hole here, I want to come up. Like so. And then go along, then down. Hopefully you'll be able to see where this is going. It's quite tricky to do this on camera so you can see what I'm doing as well as doing it. You're going to go along underneath and come up. And just going to go all the way along doing this. Make sure it's pulled tight as well. And as you're coming up to do the last hole, again, just want to tie it off, giving it possibly a double knot as well. And now we're at this stage, apply a final run of glue going over the thread here. We're doing this on both sides, and obviously pay particular attention. That will come up onto the knots. Make sure they're getting held in place. When the glue's dry, just one final step, coming in with some electric insulation tape, or if you got duct tape, something like that, you can use that. I'm just gonna bring it down here. Use whatever colour you want. I just tend to use black. If you want to write on the spine, I guess you could use white. Glue it on, fold it over. So we push it down so it holds in there. Give it a trim. And yeah, one bound book printed off. You can see the stitching in there. There you go. You've got your own bound, cheaply and easily bound PDFs that you can use. So if you are interested, head over there. There is a filter for print on demand you can use on the website, so you can filter everything down to print on demand. Unfortunately, not as much as what I'd like on there, but hey, maybe it will get better in time. But that's it for this video. That's enough of me waffling on about print on demand. Just brilliant. Thank you for sticking with this video, for watching it. If you've enjoyed it, hit a like. If you've ordered some print on demand stuff from Drive Thru RPG, what did you think about it? Let me know in the comments. Has anyone had any disappointments? Hopefully not. If you have, let me know in the comments. If you have ordered, what's your favourite thing you've ordered from them? Until the next video, guys, please take care.